So, exactly 1 year ago I made a video on why I thought the show was weirdly hinting at a certain something between Cole and Kai, and for some reason that is one of my most viewed videos ever, and it's also one of my most well received ones, so it was very surprising for the type of video that it was. I didn't expect to get a positive reaction from that. So, as it has been a year, I want to do a follow-up on this video, not going into more clues as to why I think Cole and Kai might be hinted at a certain relationship. Rather, I want to disprove something that came up in the comments of that video, and that was Skylor and Colex Vania. A lot of people say that these Kai and Cole can't be canon because Kai is already in a relationship with Skylor and Cole's already in a relationship with Vania. I'm here to show that Kyler is not canon and Colex Vania is not canon. Before I do that, I want to get into a few things first, just to clear a few things up. By saying this, I don't mean that Cole and Kai are canon, far from it. I even said in the last video I don't think they're canon, I just thought the connections were very weird and it felt like a subtle way that there could be something going on between them, but it's definitely not canon. Not yet, but yeah, at the same time, I don't think it ever will be, sadly. I will say, just to clear things up, out of the main characters, so the 6 Ninja, Pixel, Wu, Misako, etc., there are only 2 canon couples. Wu and Misako, which can be debatable, but I'd say they're pretty much canon at this point, and Zane and Pixel. Of course, Jay and Nia used to be canon, but anyways, now that we have all that out of the way, let's get into why Kyler is not canon. Let's start at the beginning. So Skylor first appeared in Season 4 Tournament of Elements, and right away she's already introduced as a love interest for Kai. Because every single one of these girl characters has been introduced as a love interest in most of the old seasons, cause you know, why not? And even in Season 8 they do the same thing, so, you know, there's no stopping that really, is there? And of course Kai takes liking to her because Kai likes women, and yeah, basically that whole thing happens. They get closer as the season goes on, but whoops, Skylor is a traitor, and Kai is upset, but no, she gains his trust back, and like they're happy at the end and stuff like that. They're about to kiss, but they didn't. Season 4 definitely hinted that there was going to be a relationship between the two, and I will admit, I'd say at the end of Season 4 they're definitely like going towards that direction. Of course, it was written by the Hagemans, and they haven't had the best track record for the writing relationships, so I think that is what they were going for back then, but they just didn't write it very well. Kai only likes Skylor because she's basically a girl, and Skylor likes Kai because the fucking script told it to, so you know, why not? There's no ever special connection between the two in Season 4, nothing that makes them grow together. She's just there. I know she moves the plot, but she's really just a tool, really. She doesn't have a character, and they don't connect on a very deep level at all. Not a very good setup. She ends up leaving at the end of the season to go back to her noodle business, and you know, they're not a couple here despite some people thinking that, even though they're literally going their separate ways. Like, what? Like, yeah, they say the kiss, but like, guys, you say Lloyd and Nikita is a farewell kiss, but then you look at this and you think, oh, canon. So like, clearly there's some hypocritical stuff going on here. And now let's move on to Season 5. We see Skylor, and she has a small scene with Ronan, and she kind of mentions the fact that her old friends kind of just stay away. She hasn't seen Kai in ages, it seems like, so yeah, definitely not officially a couple if Kai is just not seeing her, you know, at all, or vice versa. And then in Season 6 we do get her towards the end, and we get a reunion between her and Kai. But in the original script of this episode, a line that didn't make it in, but I'm pretty sure it is canon, Kai refers to her as a friend. Like, I don't think you can debunk that more than just that line is just, like, he said, like, come on, they're not a thing, guys. So yeah, and then we see her again in Season 7. Kai only goes to her because he needs advice, which is weird. Kai never actually visits her at all. Like, off screen or anything, because it's never, she's always like, oh Kai, I haven't seen you in ages, and the only time he goes to see her is when he needs help with his problems. Not something that seems a lot like a relationship, you know. And keep in mind, during this time, Kai was never set on Skylor. It was never like that. Kai was crazy about girls in season 6. That's just Kai's personality. Skylor was just another one of those, you know, to Kai, like. And then, of course, we get to season 9, and yeah, the ending scene does show them together and stuff. They are very awkward, though, and I know that's, you know, a lot of couples are awkward, of course, but they're never painted to be a couple necessarily. That was more so just you know, the Hagemans, oh, happy ending, everyone has one, ha 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 ha. And then, yeah, but once the Hagemans are out of the picture, Kyler is rarely ever brought up. The only time ever after that is in season 10, where they have a very awkward interaction. Not awkward as in, oh, funny couple, awkward as in Skylor goes to Kai and Kai is just kind of like, what are you doing, you know, like. It's not a canon couple. So yeah, Kai and Skylor aren't going out because of all the evidence. They never hang out, it's never actually stated. They act like friends, they're referred to as friends, and the biggest indicator is from the creator of Ninjago himself. If you're doubting me at all, he literally confirmed that they aren't a thing. Now I know this could change next season because we know she's coming back. But at this moment in time, Kyler is not canon, so you can't use that as a thing against Lava in my last video. And I know Lava isn't canon either, but saying it's not canon because Kyler's canon is just a false statement. So yeah, now let's move on to Cole and Vania. Cole and Vania is a fairly new relationship that we've seen in this show, and when I say relationship, I don't mean romantic relationship, because it's not like that at all. Vania was introduced in Master of the Mountain, and immediately in the very first episode, in the second episode, everyone's like, oh wow, the princess seems to like Cole a lot. And then Lloyd gets suspicious, and Lloyd is like to Cole, don't do anything with the princess, they're all sus. And then Cole literally says he doesn't like her like that. What? Like, he straight up said that. He doesn't like her like that. And then throughout the rest of the season, they're just seen as friends. Like, I know they have weird moments like hand-holding. That's the animators having the time of their lives. Basically, they're just interacting as friends. Cole has no interest in her at all. He just sees her as a friend. And even at the end of the season, he just rejects the idea of staying in Shintaro with her. Like, you know, they go their separate ways. They're still very good friends, but they're nothing more than that, you know? Like, I don't get how you can... I know exactly why people say they're a real couple. It's because a guy, Cole, and a girl, Vania, speak and interact a lot. Therefore, they're canon. Because a man and woman talk canon. That's an Ninjago fan logic right there. And like, I'm just saying, it's just not canon. And if you think, oh, well, that's your interpretation, they could be canon. Well, again, one of the writers of Ninjago responded to a tweet of mine calling this out, and he agreed, and he said he wrote them to not be in a relationship, he wrote them as friends. Cole has no interest in her. There you have it, guys. Cole and Vania aren't canon, and Kai and Skylor at the moment aren't canon either. Why do so many people think these two are canon? It's because it's just the Ninjago way. Like, let's take Jaya for example. Like, in the very first few episodes of Ninjago, they weren't a thing, but people were like, oh my god, Jaya and Nia are my favorite couple, whoa. Even though, like, they didn't become a couple until, like, the end of season 1. It's just because, you see this in a lot of shows as well. If you see a boy interact with a girl, they get shipped, and they're seen as canon. It's just how it goes in a lot of shows, and Ninjago is no exception. The only canon couples at the moment are Pixel and Zane, and of course Wu and Misako, and you know, Jay and Nia used to be, but you know. So, therefore, Kyler is not canon, and Cole and Vania are not canon. And don't let the date fool you, because I pulled this trick last time as well. This is not an April Fool's video, this is real. Kyler and Colex Vania are not canon.